Let us bow our heads and remember that we are in the presence of the Lord. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day and for all the blessings that you have so graciously bestowed on us. We thank you for our Kenner community, our elected officials, police officers, firefighters, first responders, military co-workers, friends, family, and all whom we have been able to share our joys and our sorrows with. We ask you to bless our Kenner community and all those who we care deeply for. Where there is joy, give them continued joy. Where there is pain or sorrow, give them peace and mercy. Where there is self-doubt, release a renewed confidence. Where there is a need, fulfill their needs. Bless all our homes, families, financing, and goings and our comings. We pray in Jesus' name, amen. Councilman Conley, would you lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk.
Mr. Chairman, you have a quorum this evening. In accordance with Council Resolution Number B14550, please be advised that all cellular telephones, pagers, beepers, and other devices of this nature must be deactivated or silenced throughout the council meeting. Under the consent agenda this evening, we have item 1, approval of minutes, the regular council meeting of March 5th, 2015. Item 2 is approval of alcoholic beverage permit applications. Item 2A is a resolution granting an alcoholic beverage permit to Kenner Italian Heritage Incorporated on March 27, 2015, March 25, 2015, 28, 2015, March 29, 2015, at 415 Williams Boulevard, being property owned by the City of Kenner in Kenner, Louisiana. Item 3 is approval of bingo and public gathering applications. Item 3A is application number 1869/15, Thelma Young, to hold a public gathering on April 25, 2015, from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. for the purpose of a family reunion at Lake Town in Kenner, Louisiana. Item 3B is application number 1875/15, Our Lady of Perpetual Help Church, to hold a public gathering on April 5, 2015, from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. for the purpose of an Easter sunrise service at LaSalle's Landing in Kenner, Louisiana. Item 3C is application number 1865/15, Pilgrim Baptist Church of Kenner, to hold a public gathering on April 4th, 2015, from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. for the purpose of a picnic for the church Sunday school in Kenner, Louisiana. Item 3D is application number 1874/15, Vineyard Church of New Orleans, to hold a public gathering on April 5th, 2015, from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. for the purpose of an Easter service at Lake Town in Kenner, Louisiana. That concludes your consent agenda this evening.
Motion by Councilmember Conley, second by Councilmember DeFrances. Council members, please vote.
Mr. Chairman, motion passes 7-0. Under the public appearance agenda this evening, we have item 9, public hearings for final passage. We have none. Item 10 is opening of bids. We have none. Item 11 is reclassification of zoning for final passage. We have none. Item 12 is other ordinances for final passage. Item 12A is summary ordinance number 11,825, an ordinance establishing a policy and criteria for the construction and maintenance of subdivision and/or neighborhood entrance signs and structures.
Motion by Councilmember Klein, second by Councilmember Impostata. Councilmember Impostata, you have the floor.
You have the floor.
Thank you. We drafted this legislation in connection with the city attorney for the city of Kenner in order to hopefully correct an issue that will improve the overall appearance of the city of Kenner as a whole, particularly to passersby, various neighborhood entrances, and to just overall improve the appearance of the community. What this ordinance will allow is private organizations and neighborhood organizations and other civic organizations who want to have improvements made to neighborhood entrances, to subdivisions, to public streets, to be able to have those improvements made, also have signage that would be aesthetically pleasing to the community, and this will establish a policy and a criteria that provides for how that will happen, what sort of procedures must be followed, and what sort of city funding will be available to improve those public streets and public areas. And each council member will be permitted to put forward an ordinance before the council to assist with the cost for such improvements, and that will follow the city's ordinary purchasing and professional services rules and ordinances and regulations. So that's what this is intended to do, and this will allow those organizations in those neighborhoods to continue to improve their communities with the assistance of the city. So that's why I'm asking all of my fellow council members to join me in supporting this legislation.
And Madam Clerk, I think I read that wrong. It was supposed to be moved by Impastato and second by Klein. I just realized I'm dyslexic today.
Okay, no problem.
Thank you for that legislation, and seeing no other persons wishing to speak, please vote.
Mr. Chairman, motion passes 7-0. Item 13 is resolutions and motions by council members. We have none. Item 14 is items removed from the consent agenda. We have none. Item 15 is acceptance of contracts and similar matters approved by the mayor. Item 15A is summary ordinance number 11,826. An ordinance authorizing the purchase and installation of surveillance cameras and recording equipment from BITS Technical LLC, utilizing state contract number 408849 in the amount of $32,775 for the Public Works Yard located at 1905 24th Street.
Motion by Councilmember Segura, second by Councilmember Carroll. Seeing no discussion, council members, please vote.
Mr. Chairman, motion passes 7-0. Item 15B is summary ordinance number 11,827. An ordinance authorizing the purchase of one Smithco Superstar infield finisher from Bob Ladd and Associates, doing business as Ladd's, in the amount of $17,058.09, utilizing State of Louisiana contract number 409260 for the Department of Parks and Recreation.
Motion by Councilmember Reyno, second by Councilmember Conley. Johnny Bergeron is going to love me after this. If anybody's been to Gladys Playground and seen how nice he keeps that ball field over there. So this is one of the things that he wanted, and I wanted to make sure that we spend some money on our playgrounds. So I ask for your support. Council members, please vote.
Mr. Chairman, motion passes 7-0. Item 15C is summary ordinance number 11,828, an ordinance approving an amendment to the agreement with 3Cs Property Incorporated regarding the supplying of red mud on an as-needed basis, which increases the maximum agreement amount to $14,500 annually for the Department of Parks and Recreation.
Motion by Councilmember Impastato, second by Councilwoman DeFrances. Councilmember Carroll, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. Maricoli, if you would please, sir, just a couple of questions. Thank you. I know we're getting ready to start baseball season. Obviously, the sun's coming out, the grass is growing, all the parks going to be manicured. Does this amount exceed what we did last year? And if you can remember, and if so, how close is it? And have we started any of the fields preparation for baseball, which would possibly need more, or this will suffice for the season?
To answer your second question first, we have started the preparation for this year's baseball season, and yes, this is for, to continue with that. We have started. I believe last year we had about $10,000. This is a little bit more, but we also have done a little bit more of infield conditioning and raising and adding mud this year.
Yeah, because we have obviously a new baseball diamond, which may qualify for additional mud,
Right.
if you want to call it. And just as things get older, things start to reside. I just want to make sure that we have enough in place to be able to maintain the diamonds, which is, summertime, people like getting out and making sure it looks real good.
Yeah, we feel confident with this amount that we'll be able to do and get all the fields prepared. The reason we need to move the upgrade is because of one or two other parks that we're redoing now, we need to get the red mud for.
Okay, thank you, sir.
And including Susan Park, which is one of
Okay.
them.
Yeah, that one is coming along real fine.
Yes.
Look forward to it. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilmember Carroll. Seeing no other discussion, council members, please vote.
Mr. Chairman, motion passes 6-0. Councilmember Conley's abstaining. Item 16 is ordinances and resolutions in summary for first reading. Item 16A is an ordinance approving the plan of re-subdivision of parcel Y1G1A, Driftwood Park subdivision in Kenner, Jefferson Parish, Louisiana, into parcels Y1G1A-1 and Y1G1A2 in Driftwood Park subdivision in accordance with a survey by Daniel J. Poche, Acadia Land Surveying, LLC, dated December 22nd, 2014, which parcel is owned by Walmart Real Estate Business Trust. Item 16B is an ordinance amending Ordinance 6354, approving the conversion of a general advertising sign to a digital LED sign for Pelican Outdoor Advertising Incorporated on parcel 1A, Kenner Heights subdivision in Kenner, Jefferson Parish, Louisiana. Item 16C is an ordinance approving the sale of a portion of 31st Street right-of-way located between Williams Boulevard and Connecticut Avenue and Delaware Avenue right-of-way located between 31st Street and Interstate 10 Service Road, Highway Park Subdivision, Kenner, Jefferson Parish, Louisiana. Item 16D is an ordinance authorizing an extension and amendment to the lease agreement by and between the City of Kenner and Janusa Family Delights, LLC. Item 16E is an ordinance levying the annual tax millage rates for the year 2015, totaling 17 51/100 mills on the dollar of the assessed valuation of all taxable property within the corporate limits of the City of Kenner, Louisiana, on the 2015 tax roll. Mr. Chairman, I need to clarify that in accordance with state of Louisiana law, we have to notify all of the public that the millages will be up for public hearing and open for comment on May 7th, 2015. Item 17 is reports from the council and/or special committees.
Okay, anybody have any reports? Well, I'll start. The Kenner Treasure Chest Casino is sponsoring their crawfish boil on the lake beginning tomorrow. Event starts at 6:30, ends at 9:30. Music by Karma. A plate of crawfish with all the fixings can be purchased for $10 if anybody has the player's card, and it's $15 for non-members. And I want to take this opportunity to thank our mayor, Michael Yenny, for working with the Treasure Chest and partnering with them to have this event. It was a success last year, and I know it'll be a great success this year. Councilmember Segura, you have the floor.
Thank you. I'd just like to comment and mention in light of today, St. Joseph's Day, that obviously there's a variety of St. Joseph altars around the city. If you haven't had a chance to visit any, would like to, right across the street at the Lions Club, they have one going on right now. It'll be open till 7:30, so there's still plenty of time. I'm sure plenty of food still left there too. So please, if you leave here and you want to go walk over there, they've asked that we make that announcement so anybody is welcome to go visit with them. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Segura. Councilmember Impostata, you have the floor.
Just a little good of the council message, I guess I'll say. To piggyback off of what Councilman Segura just said, that St. Joseph's altar that's at that Lions Club, I think is a great example of what this council stands for, the cooperation and the ability to work together to solve community problems. The family that runs that St. Joseph's altar held that St. Joseph's altar in Woodlake subdivision for over 30 years, and unfortunately were unable to continue living in the house that housed it. And it's had as many as 500 people, sometimes more, at that St. Joseph's altar. They were no longer able to house it, did not have a place, and contacted me, and I began asking some of my colleagues for help, and Councilman Segura stepped up to the plate and helped. So between the two of us, we were able to find them a home. And although that's not direct council business, anything that we can do to work together to help our community is good. And that's what happens when you have a group of people working together to make this community a better place. And I want to thank publicly Councilman Segura for his effort in helping make that happen. So.
Thank you, Councilmember Impostata. Councilmember DeFranchis, you have the floor.
Thank you. Our police chief isn't here tonight, but I want to mention something. Recently, I was asked to speak before a veterans group, and they were giving out awards for Teacher of the Year, Police Officer of the Year, and Fireman of the Year. And one of the things that, when I was doing a little research, that I found that I thought I wanted to pass on to the people of Kenner is that we always talk about what a safe city Kenner is. And our mayor today mentioned that again, which is one of the many reasons why people love to live here. And I'm just going to point out two statistics. On auto thefts, we went down in 2014 to 2015 to date, 24.6%. That's a great drop. But most of all, in residence burglaries, which can be an awfully scary thing when you walk into the house and you realize you've been burglarized, they've gone down 44.7%. This shows you the kind of city we have where our police department truly keeps us safe, and it's a great place to live. Our fire department has done a great job as well. Let me tell you, if you when you see what during a fire like I did recently, we had absolutely no one who got seriously hurt because of the work that they do. So again, we have a great fire department, we have a great police department, we have a great, I have to say, administration who's moving forward as well to move this city forward. And when all of us work together, including the council, we can get things done. And I think this is just shows that kind of effort that we can put forth to make the city the greatest place it can be for all of us to live. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember DeFranchis. Councilmember Carroll, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. President. Everyone was here for the information concerning the Italian festival, which is as much as part of the city of Kenner as any festival that we ever have. It was stated that the event will be on the 27th and 28th and 29th. But I would like to ask Councilman Segura, since he's part of that organization, to give a little bit more information for people who may be listening, because we won't be meeting again before the event. So, Councilman Segura, please.
Thank you, Councilman Carroll.
You have it.
Thank you, Councilman Moreno. Yes, I do like to follow up. I am on the committee for the Italian Heritage Festival. This festival has been a long-standing event here in the city of Kenner, which is to recognize the history of Kenner, which started off as a Italian immigrant farming community. And these Italians would have pieces of land in South Kenner from the railroad tracks to the river, minus a levee at that time, and farm and raise their crops, which was then available for the New Orleans people to come take the little train or from New Orleans to Kenner, shop, buy their produce, and return back to New Orleans. That led to the growth in that area, which then led to where we are today as the city of Kenner. So the Italian Heritage Committee puts on this festival every year for the purpose of recognizing the Italians and their heritage, as well as the importance of what they did to help establish the city of Kenner. I do enjoy my work on this committee, even though I'm not Italian, but it is something that I enjoy working on. So I do want to remind everybody, weekend after this one, March 27, 28, 29th, is the festival down in Rivertown. We have a whole array of entertainment from Louis Prima's daughter, the Yat Pack, Bucktown All-Stars, the Just drew a blank, but the young ladies that sing at the World War II Museum, Liberty Bells, yes. Victory Bells, yes. Victory Bells. They're going to be performing. So come on out. You'll probably see a lot of old-time Kennerites there, and it's a good chance to get together and discuss. We'll have, as always, inside the Kenner exhibition hall, the genealogical group that'll be there that can do some genealogy background for you. There's a whole host of pictures on the walls from the early days. Come back and reminisce with that, and then just come on out and have a good time for the weekend. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Segura. Madam Clerk?
Item 18 is new business. We have none. Item 19 is unfinished business and/or motions to reconsider or remove from a tabled position, and we have none. Item 20 is persons wishing to address the council on special subject matters.
Mr. Morella.
Al Morella, 4260 East Loyola Drive, 5th District, 43 years. I'm sure everyone is aware by now of the Rouse's Supermarket leaving the abandoned, virtually abandoned pavilion, which it will be once they leave. They're going to relocate over there where Winn-Dixie is on Vintage, but we losing the business. Winn-Dixie is not relocating. Winn-Dixie is leaving North Kenner. Now, I would like to pose a question to Councilman Klein or either one of the two council at large. Are there any future plans to redevelop that abandoned area? And if so, what are they? And the reason why I'm talking about this and asking these questions is because one does not have to download any data off a computer to see the state of a lot of areas in our city. All they got to do is get in their car and drive around. It's looking right at you. I also want to commend Representative Cedric Richmond for securing a federal grant of $1.6 million for the Pontchartrain Center. I don't only want to thank him, but I also want to thank the rest of the Louisiana delegation up there as well. Anybody got any comments, any questions?
You got a minute and a half, Al.
That's all. I'm done, man.
Well,
Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Klein, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. Morello, there's some things going on. Something's in the works for the pavilion. Nothing has been finalized yet, but we're working on that. It's a sensitive matter, and we just can't reveal what's going on over there. There are some things going on at the Esplanade Mall as well, and we're working on that. We should have some news very soon on that. So we don't expect that space to be empty for very long. And like I said, at the Esplanade Mall, there's something going on right now that we should have some news very shortly. Okay? And we'll keep you informed. We'll let you know right away when the ink's on the paper.
Thank you, Councilmember Klein. Councilmember DeFrances.
Mr. Morell, I can give you some additional information. I've been in contact the entire time with the manager of the Pavilion Mall. And I can tell you that till the very end, that Rouse's had not planned to leave originally. They were actually renewing their contract. They were doing fine there. There has always been a problem, though. When Rouse's took over the Save Us Center package that they had to buy, they had to take that store as it was at 60,000 square feet. It was a little bit too large for them. That is not their plan. When they build a store, when they take over a store, they like to have 40,000 square feet. That's ideal for them. It's the most profitable. And so they were forced to spend money for a 60,000 square feet store when they wanted a 40. But they were nevertheless negotiating. When Winn-Dixie lost their lease and they were leaving, that store became available. It is a smaller store, so it costs less to rent it, or lease it, I should say. It, again, is not as ideal location because you're not visible on a major street like you are in West Esplanade or Williams. So, of course, the cost per square foot is less. So now we have two savings in place. And the third little prong of this model is that the store was being remodeled for them. So when you have a new store that's being remodeled, not a new store, but a remodeled store where you're not going to invest any major money yourself, you're paying less per square foot and less because it's smaller, they really couldn't turn down that kind of a deal. So we are fortunate that even though they are moving where I would have been delighted because it was very convenient for someone like me to shop, to the Winn-Dixie site, is still in Kenner. And we're still going to get, the sales tax money. We're not losing that money at least. So I wanted to give you a little bit additional information that I had available for you. And Councilman Klein is right. There are some plans for that mall. We can't discuss them at that time, but we'll keep you informed.
Thank you, Councilmember DeFrances. The next one on the list is Robin Giarrusso. If you would come up and state your name and address for the record, please.
It's Robin Clavin-Druso, 702 Jerry Drive in Kenner, Louisiana. I'm here today to address Councilman Gregory Carroll. I have tried to call your office on numerous occasions for well over a year and a half. My intentions here is to ask you, what do I need to do besides get petitions to have Susan Park Playground named after my father?
Is that all the questions you had? Because we do 3 minutes, and then we let the council member.
Yeah, that's it, whatever. I've also spoken to Councilman at Large, Maria DeFrancis, whatever, and she said that she would, I never heard a response back either.
Thank you. I'll let Councilmember Carroll, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you, Mr. Russo, for talking again. You may not, obviously you don't remember, we talked about it before, that there have been a number of individuals that have worked at the Susan Park Playground, including your father, who I respect a lot, who was there when I was a little boy, about naming either the gym or the playground or the baseball field. So it's a matter of trying to ensure that everybody's can be happy with the decision that we make. I've spoken to the playground supervisor there. Haven't had much conversation with the recreation director, but trying to, and I don't want to turn it into a petition or a contest. I think that would kind of degrade the individuals that have given so much to the playground. But I think it is something that, along with yourself, along with your family, to be able to, for us to come to some type of agreement as it relates to the playground, the gym, and the baseball field. So tomorrow I will give you a call and give you some additional information. I prefer not to just speak about it right now publicly because it is a sensitive matter, in my opinion. How we move forward from here, and hopefully it's something that you and your family can agree with.
Okay, I look forward to that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Carroll. And motion by Councilmember Conley, second by Councilmember Reyno, and this case is closed.